guys, welcome to my channel, Among Stouts. My name is Samantha, and if you're new here, I am a new homeschooling mom of 4 kids. And so in today's video, I wanted to talk to you all about IEW, or Institute for Excellence in Writing. And so this is a complete writing curriculum, and I've mentioned this in a few videos. The most recent is my top homeschool favorites video. And I have had a couple of you ask for me to do a full review about it and talk more about what I like about it. And so I just wanted to dedicate a full video to going in depth about the IEW and why my son and I are loving it so much. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So I want to start by telling you, when you purchase the IEW, you can purchase the student book alone, or you can purchase the combo student book and teacher's manual, which is obviously what I did. And so with that, you get and I will say, all of the books are based around a different time period. So this is U.S. history, and I'm not sure what the other ones are. And so the reason why we're doing the U.S. history is because we are actually doing IEW as a part of our classical conversations community, and it's cycle 3, which is U.S. history and all of their memory work. So this goes along with that. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about that I really love about this book is on the first page here. You'll find that there are downloads here that are available to you for free as a part of the purchase of this curriculum that you can get for extra help. And there's also, it has all of the information for their website. And I just really enjoy that. The other thing that you can do for extra help and resources for teaching IEW is purchase the webinar DVDs, or you can purchase membership to the website and get those webinars that way, which is what I've done. Our CC tutor for Essentials, which is the same that does the IEW, does have the DVDs, and so she has on the schedule where we can go and meet up, and sometimes that just doesn't work out for me, or I just like to watch the videos ahead of time by myself. So I went ahead and got the membership on the website, and you have access to so many different webinars and resources when you purchase that premium membership. And I personally would highly recommend it, especially if you're new to teaching, I would say 4th grade up writing, because while I in school was really good at writing and I do love to write, I did not know how to teach the techniques to my son. And when I first opened up the manual, I'm just like, okay, like I know how to do these things, but how do I teach it? So either watching the DVDs, purchasing those for yourself, or meeting with someone else who has them and watching them with them, or like I said, getting the membership, I think is going to be really beneficial to you if you are not as confident teaching writing. And so they're all broken down into different units, and the different units aren't necessarily different topics, but they're different types of writing. And they are different topics also, like the different units are different parts of U.S., like they follow U.S. history along the way, but they're mostly the different styles of writing, and I will show you this here. So this is the teacher's manual, and then something that you can purchase in addition to your curriculum is and also it's in addition to the membership, is the Teaching, Writing, Structure, and Style Teacher's Manual, or Seminar Workbook. So anytime I go to the DVD sessions with with our Essentials tutor, I bring my notebook with me, or if I'm watching the webinars here at home, I open it up to take notes. And so this is what this looks like here. It comes with the binder, and then you get the papers and the tabs, and they aren't already put in there for you. You'll set it up yourself. But as you can see here, this is Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. So Unit 1 would be note making and outlines. So note making and outlines, and then Unit 2 is writing from notes, and Unit 3 is retelling narrative stories. Unit 4 is summarizing a reference. 5, writing from pictures. 6, summarizing multiple references. 7, inventive writing. 8, formal essays. 9, formal critique. So there's 9 units in the curriculum. So that's what this looks like here. And this is just the pages of what you'll see in the webinars. And then you just take notes of, I mean, you can highlight, underline, or take notes because a lot of what he says is in here, but some of the extra bits that he throws in, you'll want to take that down. And it's just helping you, helping you understand what the method is, why they're teaching it this way, and then how to teach it back to your child. So I absolutely love having this manual for whenever we're at home and we're working on a unit. If I forgot something that maybe I saw in the webinar or that the tutor mentioned during the class, I can always go back to this really easily and really quickly and look it up and help my son that way. And so back to the actual teacher's manual. So that's just the teaching, writing, instruction style webinar book. So it has all of those things that are in the webinars. Let me go to the first unit. So here, like I said, you have all of the contents of what's in the book. And then you have the scope and sequence. So this will tell you what is each lesson. So there's 9 units in the book, but there's 30 lessons. And so you could totally do, if you're not a part of CC, you could totally do every lesson in the book. But since we're doing this as a part of CC, there are a few lessons that aren't, that we don't do. And so that's totally fine too with us. Not every lesson is a unit. So like I said, there's the 9 units, the 30 lessons. They go by week. And so here's what the very first page of the first lesson looks like. And the first page of each lesson will look this way. And so it says, Lesson 1, Native Americans meet Christopher Columbus. So it tells you here, you have your structure, style, writing topic, and then it also gives you literature suggestions. So I really love that because if my son had already ran out of books to read that I had assigned him for maybe one of our Gather Round units, or maybe we're in between read alouds or something, I have their suggestions to go to on what else he can read that pairs with his writing lesson. So for this one, it was Squanto, Friend of the Pilgrims by Clyde Robert Beulah, which was actually sold out when I tried to buy it. So there's another Squanto book by Eric Metaxas, I think his name is. I can list it down below, and that's the one that we went ahead and read. And so, like I said, Lesson 1, Native Americans meet Christopher Columbus. Structure, Unit 1, Note Making and Outlines. The style, Introduction to Structure and Style. And then the writing topic is Native Americans meet Christopher Columbus. So that's all of the information that you get there. And then here it'll say what your unit is, what your lesson is, and then your goals. And then it lays out exactly right here. And your student book also has this here of what the assignment schedule is for each day. So this is what he should be doing day 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then again, down here is your literature structure. We're in week 10, so we're going into week 11. And the first few weeks in this, we were very diligent to this schedule because like this curriculum and teaching writing for me was brand new. And so we were very diligent to this. But now my son, I've given him the flexibility to do the pages and the schedule according to how he is feeling for the day. So like if he doesn't feel like he wants to start on IEW on a Monday, we don't start on a Monday, but he definitely has to start doing it by like Wednesday because our CC days are Fridays. So he has to start at least by Wednesday, and then he's doing multiple of what the schedule says for Wednesday and Thursday, if that makes any sense. And so then here we turn the page and it'll say, so because this one is teaching the structure and style, it'll say Introduction to Structure and Style, structure, and tells you all about the structure and then all about the style. And then it teaches you here how to make a keyword outline and what the rules are for an IEW keyword outline. In your book and their book, you'll have the source text for each lesson. So this was the source text for the first lesson. and then you have the keyword outline. So in your teacher book, it already has it filled out, but obviously the student book is not filled out. And so if my son in the very beginning, so in order to help build my son's confidence in the very beginning, if we didn't fill this out at CC, I just let him fill out what was in my book. I just let him do it because one of the reasons why I, as his teacher, had so much anxiety around teaching him writing is because I knew how hard it was for him. And I also knew how much he disliked it because it was one of those subjects that was just so hard for him. He just wasn't ever really able to, one, really come up with a topic, and then two, find a way to write about that topic in depth. He's very straight to the point and very literal. So if I ever told him what to write about, it was like, well, how many sentences do I have? How many paragraphs do I have to write? And he would stick to that. So if I said 3 to 5 sentences, I would get 3 sentences with maybe 5 words. So, and if I asked for any more than that or any more than he felt that he can do, then his emotions would overcome him. So last year, at the end of last year, when I brought my kids home, I dreaded assigning him anything that had to do with writing, and I searched all summer long. And so probably since March, I had been searching for what to do for writing. So I looked into various different writing programs, and IEW was one of the ones that I looked at, but I ended up going with Jump In. And then we decided to do CC, and so then we switched to IEW. Okay, so the very first lesson, it was the first week, it was very easy, and there wasn't much to do as far as the schedule goes. So I will go to one of the later weeks that we've done, and I'll show you more of what that looks like now. Oh, before I move on, I also wanted to show you that in the IEW, there's always new vocabulary, and so they also have vocabulary practice that they can do in here. And it's recommended that they use the new vocabulary words from this lesson in their writing. And one of the things that you notice, I'll get into that later. So it's recommended that they use at least one of their new vocabulary words in their writing in the very beginning. And then let me show you one of the later lessons. So once you get past week 1 and your child is starting to write more, you'll find that each lesson has a grading guide here. And if you feel it necessary to go and grade your kids on all of this because you either need to or you're really concerned about it for whatever reason it may be, this is really helpful for that. It tells you exactly what to look for. So what to look for with the structure. So MLA format, title centered and repeats 1 to 3 keywords from final sentence. Later on, they'll learn their topic clinchers. So you're looking for topic clincher sentences, repeat or reflect 2 to 3 keywords. And then checklist on top, final draft, rough draft, keyword outline. And then a lot of the style and dress ups. And then there's sentence openers, check for band words, mechanics, vocabulary. And so you're not checking for the majority of that in lesson 1, 2, or 3. You, in the very beginning, are checking mostly for structure and the style, because that's the style is one of the first things that they learn, which is going to be their dress ups. So you have your ly adverbs, your who, which clause, strong verb, because clause, quality adjective, and then www.asia clause. And so those are things that they learn over time. You're not learning all of those dress ups all at once. And so what I wanted to talk about with the dress ups is I wasn't sure how useful this is going to be, but I've already mentioned, because of the stress around my son and his writing, when I purchased all of this, I also purchased him this student resource packet, and it says helpful hints for students of structure and style. And so here's that first page with the hints, and this has each unit as well. So this is also labeled for each unit, all 9 units, And it's exactly what they're learning, what the structure is supposed to be, and what the style is. And so then he can go in here and see, like here, when he first learned the keyword outline, this says, has here what a keyword outline is supposed to look like, and then some ideas for symbols to use for certain words. And so if he's like, oh my gosh, what symbol can I use for hand because I have too many words? Well, he can go in here and find hand and what to draw for that. And so then, so each one just goes into more detail in helping them with what the contents of each lesson was, or each unit was. And so the other thing that he really likes this for is because, so my son is going to be 11 next week, but one of the things that I think has made writing so much harder for him is because when he was a baby, he was speech delayed, and so he did speech therapy from the time that he was 2 until he was in the 2nd grade. He graduated out of speech therapy after 2nd grade. And so words have just never, words from the very beginning have just never been something that have been easy for him to come by. So when it came to obviously talking and then writing and then forming sentences and now, forming paragraphs and stories and things like that, it's just not easy for him. He has to work really hard at it, and the extra effort and the extra work can be tedious and a little it can wear him down. So I'm so thankful that I bought this binder, because back here where it says dress ups, if I were to tell my son, you need to put 5 ly adverbs in your paper, he would think of maybe 3 and use 3 to 5 that he could maybe come up with, and then use those repeatedly, because like I said, words can sometimes be hard for him to come by. If he went to the dictionary, he could probably find more, but this tells him exactly. So it has dress ups, ly adverb, who which clause, strong verb, because clause, and then quality adjective, and then the www.asia clause, and what exactly they are. And so this is what was really awesome. It has this amazing long, sorry, I'm struggling to show you guys this, but it has this amazing long list of ly adverbs for him to go to when he can't think of something. So what's really been awesome is I bought him a thesaurus also, and so he can come in if he has an adverb that he's thinking of, and I'm like, well, you need an ly adverb, or if he's thinking of another word, I'm like, well, what ly adverb can you use that is the same word as that? So he can come over here, look at these words, and then use his thesaurus to see if he can find one that matches to the word he was already thinking of using. And so here is more of those adverbs. And then I really like this page because it says adverbs for essays, and this is just a handy list. So it says to show importance there, to show how likely, to show how often, to show emotion, common, and then this is to show sequence. So common, avoid, sometimes use, or choose. And these are look at all of those different words that you can use for those different areas. So I really love that. And then over here, it talks about what to avoid. So if he's like, oh, I'm going to say really, it says here, why you should avoid using the word really and very. And then if you're trying to find a strong word for really or very, it gives this list here of all of better words to use. So I just really love that. And when he is doing his papers, I'm just in awe of him, because he runs over to get his binder and he's like, I need some good ly adverbs, and he's going to that, or I need this, and he looks that up, or he's like, I'm not understanding this in this unit, and he looks it up. And the fact that he does that is awesome, because before he would just completely shut down and get way, way, way emotional over it. So we have made huge progress in writing with emotion around writing, and with anxiety around writing. And honestly, like that in itself, I love IEW. Like that in itself makes me love IEW to pieces. Like the unending love for this curriculum, just because of the complete 180 that I've seen in his reaction to saying, let's do writing. It's good. Okay, and so then I'll show you here, because this section was for dress ups. So who, which clause, punctuating a who, which clause. So this here is like how to use a who, which clause, and then how to use it to add information, how to use it to combine sentences, punctuation, and then caution around it, like when to not use it, when it doesn't work, and things like that. And so here's the invisible who, which clause, essential, non-essential who, which clause, which are that. And then he hasn't written anything here, but there are banned verbs that he has in his notebook that we should probably add to here. And then here are the strong verbs. This is strong verbs for say or said, strong verbs for go, went, or come, came, strong verbs for get, got, see, look, eat, ate. And really what this is doing is this is just helping your kids like learn these words and develop a habit of using better words for everyday go-to words. Like it's really easy to say, oh, I ate something good, when you can make it sound so much better, like I gobbled down this deliciously frosted cupcake. Like that just sounds better than I ate a cupcake. But yeah, so here's the because clause dress up, and when to add it, what the rules are, and letting you know that because is not a starter or it's not a clausal starter. And so then again, we haven't added these in, but these are the banned adjectives. And then it does the same thing. It goes into quality adjectives meaning good. So excellent, exemplary, exquisite. So this says quality adjectives meaning good. And it even breaks it down even further. So great, pretty, a character is, good for you, special, a deed is, good sounds, good food, acceptable. Okay guys, sorry, my battery died. So yes, has quality adjectives, and then it has the everything about the ASIA dress up, and then sensory words, lots of words to use for sensory. So that's awesome. And then it goes on to the next one. So like sentence openers. So yes, there's sentence openers. There's decorations, which is like your alliterations, questions, conversations, quotations, the 3 short staccato sentences, simile, metaphor, dramatic open close. And then you have your trimple and advanced style, so trimple extensions, teeter-totters, and then punctuation and usage. And then there's that. So, like I said, this is just absolutely, literally the best resource for, I mean, it's their curriculum and they developed the student resource binder, and so they go perfectly well together. And if your kiddo is a struggling writer, a reluctant writer, and they just need like extra help that maybe you struggle to give them yourself, or for any reason, I highly recommend, if you get IEW, to also get this. Okay, so now that we've done all that, let's go back to what lesson was I going to shoot? Lesson 12. So lesson 12 here was the Louisiana Purchase. And so structure is unit 4, summarizing a reference. Style, number 2, prepositional opener, banned words, pretty big, small. Writing topic, the Louisiana Purchase. Literature suggestion, by the Great Horn Spoon by Sid Fleischman, I think. And so then here you have the goals of this unit or lesson, and then your daily schedule. And as you can see, this here is all of day 1, and before all of like the whole week fit on one page. So that's day 1, and then there's your days 2, 3, and 4. And so what happens is, now that they're getting further on, the book teaches them throughout, like, what they're supposed to be doing daily is in their book, and they get that done. And then here's the source text. So I just wrote in my book here to help my son out, and then the keyword outline. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you what the daily pages in the student book look like, and then I can show you what you have in your teacher's manual to help out with that. So let me go to lesson 12. And I also wanted to show you really quickly, with the grading checklist, your student also has one in their book so that they can check off that they're doing all of them as they're writing their paper, to make sure they get max points. Okay, so here is unit 4, summarizing reference, lesson 12. And this is what the first page looks like in the student book. So here it says the same thing, what the goals are, and then same assignment schedule here. And here. And so this is a picture for reference of what all came with the Louisiana Purchase, and this is also in the teacher book. And then here is the source text. And so as you can see, he also did his circling and underlining here in the source text, and then there is his keyword outline. And so here is where it starts, like the lesson that's being taught with the new structure and style. So in your book, it'll tell you here, like you can just read this verbatim if you wanted to teach it. So this is going to be the new style. New style sentence openers. And so then your student also has the exact same thing. So if you didn't want to read it with them, if you're having them work independent, they're reading all of the same exact information here in their book as well. So there's that. And then what I like about doing it along with him is because in your book you have these gray spaces here, and it's just extra tidbits that you can read to your child, or that you can let them know. It just has, like, not that you would tell them all of it because it's tips to you, but it gives you tips like encourage students to memorize the pattern preposition plus noun, no verb. And so that's something that you could make a note of for yourself, like, oh, I think this is useful information, I'll let them know that. So I love that it has these extra tips here, and if you're doing the lesson right along with them, you have it right here open to just go ahead and tell them what that is. And so then you go to new style, the next activity, or the next section, and it's this one is the new prepositional opener. And so this is all of what it says here, which they are also reading. And then there's a practice down here. And so in the practice, you'll always have an answer that's already in the blank. And that's something where your child will be able to answer. So if my son is really struggling, I will just prompt him along to coming up with the answer that's in my book. Or here. So with the answer that's in my book, without actually telling him the whole answer. Or if I tell him the whole answer, then we figure out why that's the answer. But usually I just prompt him along to getting to what this says. Now that we're further in, he is completely independent in answering the questions and doesn't need me prompting him long to get to it. But in the very beginning, you can never help your kid too much, especially when it's something that they struggle at or something that they're new at. So, like I said, when I was letting him just straight copy the keyword outline, I was also just, if he needed help, I was giving it to him. So then you go to the next practice, and this is what it looks like in the student book. So here's a lot of the work that he does, and so this is why it's good to follow that schedule, so then they know when to go in and get all of these done, and then when they need to have their rough draft written, when they need to have their final paper written. And going through these is where they practice the ly adverbs, a lot of those strong verbs, their adjectives, and the different clauses, and so yeah, in this number 2 prepositional opener, this is what it looks like in your teacher's book. Again, you'll have them all filled in already. And so then you go to the last one, which is the vocabulary practice. And so this is the vocabulary practice that he did for this particular week. And those are also in the teacher's book. And then that's the end of the lesson. They write their paper from the keyword outline. So the keyword outline for us is, so reading the source text and then completing the keyword outline is the very first thing that's done for us. And that's because we do it as a whole group in CC, and all of the kids do the keyword outline together. And so that's already done. So that's our day 1, is our Friday at CC. And then on Monday, like I said, between Monday and Wednesday, he'll start, and that's whenever he starts doing all of the practice sheets. And then once he's done with those is whenever he writes his rough draft. I look over his rough draft, and we've been taking it easy. At first, I was looking over it and just letting it be, but now I've gotten to where I will circle some things, highlight some things, and make him rewrite it, fixing spelling, fixing punctuation, and those things. And we've built up our rapport together with writing to where any correction isn't going to send him in emotional roller coaster anymore. So we built up that rapport. So now I'm doing more criticisms on his writing and making him change it. So he's going from rough draft to final draft. And so he's been doing really well with that. And we have decided together now he's going to do his rough draft, and then now he's going to start to type out his paper, because when he presents his paper at CC Community Day, he's not able to read his handwriting. So I told him, I was like, you can do like your next couple papers, still writing, but we're going to work up to typing. And so I think when we go back after the fall and Christmas break, so when we go back in January, I think, after the new year, when we go back, he'll be typing his papers up. And so yeah, guys, like, it's the same thing in this book. It ends on that vocabulary sheet, and then they just go right into the next lesson. I mean, you have your grading sheet, and then you go right into the next lesson. And that, in a large nutshell, is IEW. So I will go over really quickly what all I have again. Oh, before that, I wanted to show you. Back here, in the student book, so back here in the student book, it has all of the vocabulary words listed out for you. So this would be, we have spelling UC, so that's how he's been doing spelling. But I think next year, I'll just use these vocabulary words as his spelling words and just do it that way. Because I don't think there's any need to have more and more, I don't know. Honestly, we're not even doing spelling UC right now, so that's kind of been put on the back burner. But yeah, so you have all, like, for each lesson, you have all of the vocabulary words and their meaning back here. So we could totally do those with spelling words. And then it also has, which we haven't done, but if you wanted to, you could totally use these. It has vocabulary quizzes back here also. So there's vocabulary quizzes, and then there are also these flashcards that you can cut out. So it has the word, a picture here that your kid can color, and then it has the definition. But what's really nice about it is they still have to fill in the vocabulary word. So it's not just like the word, you actually have to read the sentence, fill it in. So I really like that. Again, we haven't used it because I didn't want to add too much in too soon with a writing curriculum. So maybe over break we can go ahead and fill all of these in and start doing some of these quizzes and catch up on them. And then in the new year we will just take it week by week with the quizzes and the vocabulary as well. I haven't decided, but I think that's a good idea. So yes, so you get your student book and your teacher's manual. Again, you can purchase only the student book. I guess like if you have more than one kid in this level, so this would be grade 4 to 6. So if you have multiple kids that you're teaching, you can purchase the set and then an extra book, however many extras you have. So I like that they do that so that you don't have to purchase just a ton of sets. So you get these two in a set, and then these are separate purchases, which is the student resource book, which I highly recommend, especially if your kid is sometimes at a loss of words, is a reluctant writer, is a struggling writer, any of those scenarios, or maybe they're really good writers but you just want to elevate their writing. This is really good because it has all of those great words at the back that they can go and use. And then the teaching writer structure and style webinar book. So this is really good for you if you're teaching writing for the very first time, or even if you're teaching this style of writing for the very first time that IEW teaches. It's actually quite different. There's similarities and differences with it from how I was taught writing. I was taught to do an outline and to do like a lot of the keyword stuff that IEW teaches, but I wasn't taught in this structure, like in the structure that they do it. So I've been really enjoying it as someone who likes to write a little bit, and I enjoyed all of my writing classes in school. So I really liked that, and like I said, my son is really enjoying and he's thriving in this program. And I think that IEW is great for any student, but especially for any of you with, like I've already mentioned, reluctant writers, struggling writers. I think that you will see a completely different child when it comes time for writing if you switch to IEW if you're not already using it. So that's all I have for you today, guys. If you like this video, please hit the like button. I know it was a little long and I was a little bit all over the place, but there's truly so much that I love about this curriculum, and I wanted to make sure I got it all out to you, even if it is a little bit scattered. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you have used IEW and it's working for you, let me know in the comments below. Or maybe if you've used another writing program that's worked for your reluctant writer, I'd love to hear that too. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.